diets were born, at the turn of the century, women wanted to be curvy. And if they were not curvy, they wore undergarments to look that way. In the 20s, women broke out of restrictive clothes. Sometimes they were a little plump, but flappers favored a slimmer profile than before. In the 1930s, more body-conscious clothes were all the rage. In high society, women were beginning to equate thin with personal power.
Have you seen the well-to-do?
Wallace Simpson, the Duchess of Windsor, famously said, "You can never be too rich or too thin." And Americans began to embrace sleek elegance in their screen idols.
Don't sit under the apple tree with anyone else but me.
With the 1940s came sexier silhouettes. In a time of war, not many women thought about dieting. After the war, American women focused on home and family. They idolized movie stars with womanly hourglass figures, because that's what their husbands liked. But thin was making an important debut with Audrey Hepburn and the new 50s fashion silhouette. In the 1960s, diets were finally born. A new pop culture was born, and Twiggy exploded onto the scene.
Well, no one told me about her, the way she lied.
Girls started baring their bodies. The Kennedys were trim and elegant, and Americans wanted to be like them. Petrocal shakes and wafers were the first meal replacement foods, appealing to the aspirations of post-war professionals. Artificial sweeteners also took the country by storm, appealing to a growing national fantasy to be thin and rich. And appetite suppressants hit the market.
The AIDS diet plan is helping me lose weight deliciously. AIDS works two ways. It helps satisfy your hunger and has an effective appetite suppressant.
Lose weight deliciously with the aid of AIDS.
Tab was introduced and became the go-to soda for girls and young women. Then came the grapefruit diet and the boiled egg diet and just about any other kind of diet. And Jean Nidich founded Weight Watchers in the spirit of Alcoholics Anonymous, because thin now represented the good life. By the 70s, thin was definitely in. Women wanted equal opportunities, to be seen as strong and to dress for success. In the late 70s, S. Daniel Abraham launched Slim Fast Powder Meal Replacement Drink, and later, at about the same time, he brought Dexatrim to the market. Diet plans were also coming into their own, and Weight Watchers grew too. In the early 80s, fashion emphasized women's strength. Diet Coke overtook earlier diet sodas as the aspirational beverage of choice. Complete food plans also came onto the scene. Women started lifting weights and working out regularly at the gym. In the 90s, endless new diet books and plans bombarded consumers, and Jared lost weight on Subway sandwiches. Women continued striving for success and continued dieting and exercising. And as the pressure built to be thin and successful, many more women became overweight, while more women became obsessive about losing weight. In the new millennium, still more women became obese, while many women were obsessing about losing weight too. And the national obsession with youth and beauty fueled a whole new industry in cosmetic and weight loss surgery. Then, on September 11th, 2001, everything changed for Americans. Soon, the war in Iraq became a national obsession, and Hurricane Katrina brought still more anxiety to the American psyche. To make things worse, the American economy started to tank. Beauty and diets were not a priority anymore, especially when confronted with images of crazy thin models and celebrities. Weight loss companies redoubled their efforts with new national ad campaigns. But American women weren't hungry enough for power and fame to sacrifice for beauty. They wanted to accept themselves more realistically. They embraced home, family, health, and spirituality. And with a whole new industry emerging for healthy eating, plus the belief that diets don't work, American culture has driven the last nail into the coffin for diets. For now, anyway.